Lena had everything planned, her career, her future, her perfect life, all mapped out like a train schedule. Every detail meticulously thought out, every step carefully calculated. She was the kind of person who thrived on order and predictability. But life doesn't always follow our plans. It has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect them, shattering our carefully constructed maps. One rainy evening she ran through the subway, late, stressed and desperate to get home. The rain poured down in sheets, soaking her to the bone, and the cold wind bit at her skin. As the train doors slid shut behind her, she sighed in relief. She had made it, just in the nick of time. The warmth of the train car enveloped her, a stark contrast to the storm outside. But then, she looked up at the screen. Her heart sank as she read the destination. Willow Street? That wasn't her stop. Panic set in as she realized she was on the wrong train. She was on the wrong train. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. She had no idea where this train was headed or how she would get back on track. Frustration bubbled inside her. How could this happen? She had been so careful, so precise. "Great," she muttered, "just what I needed today." Her voice was tinged with sarcasm and defeat. She checked her phone, no signal, no fast way back. She felt trapped, isolated in this metal tube hurtling through the city. She'd have to wait at the next station. There was no other option. She resigned herself to the situation, trying to calm her racing thoughts. The train slowed to a stop, Willow Street. The name felt foreign, unfamiliar. The door slid open, revealing a dimly lit platform. The station was eerily quiet, a stark contrast to the bustling hub she was used to. She had never been here before. The unfamiliarity of the place made her uneasy, but also curious. And yet, something caught her eye. A glimmer of intrigue in the midst of her confusion. Tucked into the corner, past the empty benches and flickering lights, was an old bookstore. It seemed out of place, like a relic from another time. It had no flashy signs, no bright colors, just a simple wooden door with a small golden bell. The kind of place that whispered secrets and stories. Something about it felt different. It was as if the bookstore had a soul, a quiet magic that beckoned her. So, with nowhere else to be, Lena stepped inside. The door creaked open, and the golden bell chimed softly. The air smelled of old paper and ink. It was a comforting scent, one that reminded her of childhood libraries and quiet afternoons. Books stacked high, some covered in dust, others with handwritten notes in the margins. Each book seemed to hold a piece of history, a fragment of someone's life. An old man sat behind the counter, glasses perched on the tip of his nose. He was engrossed in a book, the pages worn and well-loved. He looked up and smiled. Lost? His voice was gentle, kind, as if he had seen many lost souls wander into his store. "Yeah, sort of. Wrong train." Lena's voice was tinged with embarrassment, but also a hint of relief. "Ah, sometimes the wrong train takes you to the right place." The old man's words hung in the air, resonating with a truth she hadn't considered. He slid a book across the counter. The title was unfamiliar. It was worn, the cover faded, but it held a certain allure. Something about philosophy, or maybe storytelling, she wasn't sure. The title was cryptic, promising wisdom and insight, but she opened it, and read the first line. The words seemed to leap off the page, speaking directly to her soul. That one line sparked something in her, a new thought, a new possibility. It was as if a door had opened in her mind. And that night she talked to the old man for hours. They discussed life, dreams, and the unexpected paths we take. She missed the next train. The conversation was too engrossing, too important to cut short, and the one after that. Time seemed to stand still in the cozy warmth of the bookstore. Lena never went back to her old plan. That night changed everything. It was as if the wrong train had derailed her life in the best possible way. The book, the conversation, the wrong train, it all led her somewhere she never expected, but exactly where she needed to be. It was a journey of self-discovery, of finding new paths and new dreams. We spend so much time fighting against detours, against mistakes, against things that seem to go wrong. We resist the unexpected, clinging to our plans and our maps. But what if they're not wrong? What if they're just different? What if the detours are actually the main road, the mistakes are lessons, and the wrong turns are opportunities in disguise? What if they're just different? Different doesn't mean bad. It means new, uncharted, full of potential. Maybe, just maybe, the wrong train is actually the right one. The journey we didn't plan might be the one that leads us to where we truly belong.